it wasn't just thinking about getting back to a win. It was also understanding what type of fighter we were going against, competing against a guy that was extremely tough. I hit him with a bunch of jabs. I hit him with a jab cross. I hit him with a lot of heavy punches, and he just kept coming forward, and we were expecting that. So the whole idea of just winning wasn't just because, we're on a losing streak, we got to get back. It was also just knowing that the dude's not going to let you finish him. He's not going to make it that easy. You got 3 rounds. Let's just keep working, and get the W. So, yeah, it was a couple of different factors in there.
Was there ever a part in the fight in that 15 minutes where you thought, oh, man, maybe this is my opening, maybe he's about to break?
Yeah, definitely. That second round I came out and got kind of loose and just dropped my hands a little bit, loosened my arms up, and I hit him with a jab cross, and it landed flush. And I thought, I definitely thought that might have wobbled him a little bit, at least enough to throw him off balance. But the guy ate all of it and just kept moving forward. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see that he repostured himself really quickly to make an approach back and make an attack. So I just said, you know what, let's just take those points, fade away, come back, start over.
Hey, Will, it sounded like you were getting some really good corner advice in there tonight. Were you able to hear that as you were going?
Yeah, definitely. My coaching staff and my coaches are incredible at communicating. They know me. They know that they'll never have to scream and yell things over and over and over again. They only have to say it once, and I'll get the job done. Before getting into the fight, before even walking out of the locker room, we have a good idea on what we need to do, and they just do a good job with being very precise on what they need to say to me, and we don't have to do too much talking,
Once everything was done, you knew you had to win. Did that sense of relief come over you? I mean, I know you just mentioned weren't really going into this thinking got to snap that win streak, but it has been a couple of years, right?
Yeah, definitely, man. It was definitely one of those things where it was just winning, I miss you so much. It was it took us a little bit to get back together, but we're back now, and you just keep moving forward. And I'm a guy that is very, very I'm very critical of myself, and even though I got the win, I was still a little bummed out. So it took my coaches a little bit to be like, "Listen, you won, dude. Get it together," But that's just how I am, and that's how I'll always be, and that's why I got my coaches like Dean Thomas and Conan and my boy Rodney that's been with me for years now. That's why they know me, they know how I operate, and they know how to hey, we won, get it together. So it felt really good,
Was it extra special being able to do this in your hometown?
Yeah, definitely, man. It was a huge thing for me, man. It was just one of those things that really lit a fire under me, and just hearing everybody cheering and just being able to come back here and help the sport of MMA grow in Chicago. I think that's something that it's a sport that we've been trying to build in Chicago. It just hasn't really jumped off yet, but I definitely believe if you start bringing Chicago-based fighters back to the city, we're a city where we support our own, so to be able to come back here and really be a part of building mixed martial arts in Chicago is really important to me.
Now, they have obviously a lot of Chicago fighters. You got Curtis Blades and Neil Magny, yourself, and many others. Now, obviously, they got the fighters. Is it just more of a city that's maybe connected to the boxing world and they're just kind of transitioning into the MMA world, or you think it'll just take time?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. We're a city with big teams. We have Chicago Bulls, the Blackhawks, Cubs, White Sox. These are teams that we're a sports city. Are we a combat sports city? I don't think so. We used to be as far as boxing goes, but that's kind of died out a little bit in this city, and now we are kind of trying to make a transition back into combat sports, and MMA is kind of at that point where it's kind of blended into everything. So it's going to take some time to grow it, and guys like myself and Curtis and Neil, and I didn't even know Neil Magny was from Chicago, to be honest. But guys like ourselves, it's going to be on our shoulders to really get out there and let people know where we're from and let them know what we're trying to represent and what we're bringing back to our community, and really just taking our success and bringing it back here and building something for the youth, bringing something for the kids to look up to. So it's going to be up to us to get it done,
You left the Bears out. Was that intentional?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know. I should have said the Bears, but we got a bittersweet relationship in the Bears right now, But they look like they're going in the right direction, They went and got Allen Robinson. They went and got Taylor Gabriel, whatever his name is, from the Falcons. They went and got Anthony Miller in the draft. They're doing some big things, and then they got the linebacker from Georgia. I can never remember his name, but they're moving in the right direction. So it's just I've been getting punched tonight, so I slipped up a little bit, Yeah.
The turnaround time will be quicker now for you than probably normal. How comfortable will you be with that? You know that you're going to have to fight again in 6-7 weeks.
That's not a problem at all. That's definitely not a problem for me. I come from a wrestling background, so this type of continuing to be able to keep going is something that is not new to me. You know, I come from a wrestling background and a football background where it's like, hey, you just keep going every other weekend or Friday, whatever it is, and Saturday, whatever, and you just get out there and do the work, you know. So we'll take some time off. I'll go spend some time with my wife and my kids, and my coaches will let me know when it's time to get back in the gym and get back to work.
What's your thought? Go ahead.
Well, talk about your mentality going into this fight. You suffered 3 consecutive losses. You know, many professional athletes, not just fighters, go see sports psychologists to get through it. What firstly did you have to seek out to get past this mental block?
I went to my wife and my coaches because those are people that really they don't like. I want to talk about my coaches because they don't just treat us as athletes and fighters. They really care about us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. They want to connect to us and make sure that we're all right as people. And then we'll come back to the fighting part. So just sitting around talking to my coaches like Conan and Dean Thomas and my strength and conditioning coach, Phil DeRue, who's just been able to just sit down and pull me to the side. I'm like, well, let's sit down and just talk. How are you doing as a person? How are you doing at home? Not what you're doing in the gym, but that was a huge thing that really meant a lot to me. And then, again, my wife, you know, she's always got my back. And I'll be honest, after my last loss, I was like, man, maybe I don't have it anymore. Maybe it's just time to just move on to something else. And my wife looked at me and she said, babe, whatever you decide to do, I'm going with you. And that I found confidence to keep going. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not doing this by myself. So my coaches, my wife, my Lord, my Savior, Jesus Christ, who I've been working really, really hard to build a relationship and find myself in my own faith. And that's been a huge cornerstone for me right now in my life. So there's a combination of different things going on, you know.
What's your take on Woodley and Covington?
I don't want to talk about that. That's not my problem. Whatever those guys got going on, that has to do with them. I'm here to represent the Professional Fighters League the best way I possibly can and continue to do that. What goes on with other guys, I'm not going to comment on that and waste my time on it.
Perfect.
How about fighting Chicago, man? Like, you haven't fought here for quite some time, you know, except for MMA, you were a big staple of that promotion. But did that help you, that all the fans are going to embrace you, that all the people are going to come out and embrace you for this fight to get past, you know, the losses in the past?
Yeah, I mean, it plays a part in it, but at the end of the day, you still got to respect the fact that you got to go out there and do the work. As if you're at home, you're at the other person's home, you're 30 miles away, wherever you're at, you know, you still have to go out there and do the work, and you get excited for it, you know. It definitely lights a little bit of extra fire in you, but for me, it was more, I'm a Chicago kid. I got Chicago in my heart. I know how to get up and just get to work, and that's how we are, you know, in Chicago. So it doesn't matter where we at, we go get the work done. So it was exciting to be here, especially in this venue. It's an incredible venue, and to bring mixed martial arts here and figure out a way to do that. That was something that I was really excited about for the fans, more for the fans than I was for the fighters. So it was really exciting, man.
Just real quick, Bill, if you could, a lot of fighters have already spoke about the PFL and how fantastic an organization it is and they've been treated so well. You share the same experience?
Yes, sir. I think these guys have really figured out how to approach mixed martial arts. I think for a long time we've been trying to turn it into a sport, and we've kind of gotten away from it, gotten a little off track. And I think the format that the Professional Fighters League has put together fits that ideal of what a sport is. You know, like the NBA, the NFL, everybody has a off season. You have a regular season, playoff, championship. So that energy is going to be great, and it's going to be a growing process. You know, like right now, we're smashing a lot into a few months. You know, and that's fine. You know, you just still got to go out there and do the work. And I think in the next season's coming up, and after a little bit, they'll figure out how to maybe stretch it out, make it a little bit longer, and still keep that regular season, playoff, championship. But it really has that vibe of a professional sport, and you know, it's going to take some time to grow that.
Is there any other opponents that impressed you tonight, or anybody that you're kind of eyeing?
Honestly, I didn't pay attention to them. That's just the way we approach everything. We have to win our fight. What the next guy does doesn't matter. We'll just take it one fight at a time, and that's just how at American Top Team. That's how we approach it. You know, win 5 seconds, win the next 5 seconds, move on to the next 5 seconds, and when the fight's done, you get your hands raised, you go celebrate, and then again, when the coaches tell you it's time to get back to work and and the manager calls and the fights get made, and then you start focusing on the next fight. But for right now, we just live in this moment right now and just enjoy this. And when they make the next matchups and make the next fights, then we'll start focusing on everybody else.
Chris Wade throughout the first pitch for the Cubs game on Wednesday. Did PFL approach you with that? And that's something you didn't.
No, I did the White Sox game. That was a way more important game. Way more important game. That was the real game they wanted us to throw the pitch out for. So we went out to the White Sox game. That was really big for me because my boy Rodney, I've been talking to him forever. There's so many different things that I've been wanting to do, come back to the city and do. One, come back and fight. Two, I've really been trying my best to figure out a way to throw out the first pitch at a White Sox game, and that was something that I've always wanted to do. So to get the opportunity to do that was incredible, you know, and it's just this entire week, the entire process getting ready for this PFL event tonight was just incredible. The staff with the PFL, they've just been top notch and just really on top of things, and for them to work so hard to get me out there to the White Sox game, like it was a little bit of a scramble, but they got it done, and man, it was very impressive and very professionally done, you know, so I was excited for it.
How are you going to celebrate tonight in your hometown?
Oh, I'm about to go get lit. We're about to go drink, have a good time, party, laugh, and then come Monday, you know, like I'm gonna go back home tomorrow, see my daughter, my wife, my son, sit around, chill, change some diapers, and then Monday when my coaches would call me and tell me to come in the gym, and we go get back to work. So, you know, tonight we go get a little crazy, you know. Yeah.